Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back to part 2 of your reading lesson today. I hope you enjoyed comparing and contrasting Ella, Ella and Adelita, and also talking about or thinking about what you've learned as a reader or a writer since you read the story Adelita. Today in part 2, Mrs. Spears is going to help you by starting to fill out your organizer for your next focusing question task. You are going to need handout 24B, and that is going to look similar to this. And I'm sorry, this is a little bit blurry. It's the best picture I could get off my computer screen, but it's you should have this in your Wit and Wisdom notebook, your blue notebook or workbook. So this is just to give you an idea of what it looks like or to remind you. So with Miss Spears, you're going to be choosing a trait that you think that you admire the most about Adelita, and you're going to fill out the opinion statement, the reason, and the conclusion, I believe, with Miss Spears today. Now, that's all you're going to do today is fill out those parts of your organizer. Then tomorrow, we're going to talk about the introduction, okay? So today, just make sure you have your evidence organizer filled out, okay? And she's going to do an example with you. And then we will come back tomorrow to continue working on your next focusing question task. All right, boys and girls, I hope you're ready to enjoy your next part of your lesson with Miss Spears, and I will see you soon.
All right, let's think back to the question that focused our work with the Adelita text. And that question is, why do people admire Adelita? Today, you're going to plan an opinion piece to explain why you admire Adelita. Take a look at Assessment 24A, which is the Focusing Question Task 3, and listen as I read the prompt. What do you most admire about Adelita? First, read the evidence on the Adelita traits chart. Next, choose a trait you most admire about Adelita. Then, write an opinion paragraph telling what you most admire about Adelita. Support your opinion using evidence from one of the following texts. Adelita by Tommy De Paola. Now, I'm going to help you plan your opinion paragraph for Focusing Question Task 3. I want to remind you, in a previous lesson, you used Adelita's actions to figure out what Adelita is like. Today, you're going to plan for your Focusing Question Task 3 by choosing the trait you most admire. All right, listen as I review some of the traits that we've identified. Hardworking, generous, forgiving. Remember, these are just some of the traits that you can choose. You may have written about a different trait in your journal, and if you did, you can use that trait if you wish. I want you to now think about the trait that you most admire about Adelita. Now, whisper it aloud. Okay, you're going to add notes about the trait that you most admire about Adelita to an evidence organizer for Focusing Question Task 3. What I'd like you to do is take out handout 24B, the Focusing Question Task 3 evidence organizer. It looks like what you see on the screen. Do you have it? Now remember, you've used a similar planner before. And since your opinion statement will tell which trait that you most admire, you're going to write the trait that you chose in the box labeled Opinion Statement. Do you see where to write it? Awesome. You're going to skip the box labeled Introduction. So what I'd like you to do now is pause the video and write the trait that you most admire in the second box of the evidence organizer on handout 24B. Now, remember, Adelita's actions provide the evidence that you will use for your reason. And in your reason sentence, you will explain an action that shows the trait that you admire. So, for example, if I said that Adelita was forgiving, the evidence I would use would be that she invites her stepmother and stepsisters to her wedding. Remember, if you have chosen a trait that's written in your journal, you're going to need to look back in your journal for the action as well. I'd like you to point to or just say the action that goes with the character trait that you've chosen. Did you point or did you say it? Now, where will you write the action that supports the trait that you chose? Think. Where will you write the action that supports the trait that you chose? That's right. You will write the action in the reason box. Do you see it? Pause the video now to write a word, phrase, or create a drawing to help you record the action that supports your opinion. All right, awesome first graders. Did you write your reason? If you didn't, I encourage you to go back and do so. Next time, we will continue working on the evidence organizer for focusing question task 3. But until then, be kind and do something great because you are capable of greatness.